Hi, I'm here with Chris Dancer, who is the chairman of Northumbrian Roads Limited, that we helped sell to Aggregate Industries, part of Lafarge Holcim Group, in December 2020. Northumbrian Roads was a 16 million turnover company. It had £10 million of plant and equipment at the time of sale, and we were involved with Northumbrian Roads as we were auditors for many years. Also, we started to speak with the buyer in 2019. We were getting some momentum up in terms of discussions in March 2020 when the pandemic first struck. Then we didn't really get going again until September 2020, when heads of terms were signed and we got the deal completed in December 2020, just before Christmas. So, hi Chris, we're just going to ask you a few questions about the deal. First question for you is, how does it feel to have been a shareholder for so long and to see the business sold?
Hi Steve, nice to see you again. Well, a bit emotional, I think, being with the company 30 odd years. It's almost like raising a child from birth, I guess, when you grow in a company with a strategy of growth, and you develop a group of people around you as well. So I suppose at the end of it all, it was a bit emotional. It's almost like waving your kids off when they leave home. If I can use that analogy.
So is that there's an element of relief there as well as of pride as well?
Yeah, I suppose if I'm going to still use that analogy, when your kids leave home, you're still there. They're still there, and they still want information, and they still want they want them in your pockets, don't they, the kids? So, yeah, it hasn't been, we haven't lost touch with everybody yet. It's still ongoing, but yeah, it's been emotional. It was very intense, the whole process. I think it was quite a fast track acquisition, wasn't it? So.
Yeah, it was. From agreeing ahead of terms in September to completing just before Christmas, it was intense, but I guess certain things made it go smoothly as well.
Yeah, definitely. Well, obviously your input and the ongoing support you give us anyway with the financial package and the management accounts information, which is always up to date anyway, that certainly got us off to a good start. The data room, which was set up to take in all the information for the due diligence process, I think the key part of that was to get as much detailed information into the data room as early as possible in the due diligence process. So it gave the buyer a lot of time, or more time, to delve into it all. So I think the early part of it was probably the more intense part of it for me, getting all that information across and getting it in the data room early, and it certainly helped reach the deadline at the end.
Yeah. So what was the hardest part of the sale process?
Actually telling all our staff at the end that it had happened. That was really hard, because obviously it's confidential during the process, and we're quite a relatively small family style of company, with a lot of long-term employees on board. So keeping it a secret was hard in the first place, but then once it had gone through, having to ring up everybody individually one by one, because of COVID, we didn't have the opportunity to get everyone together in a room, and because of the Christmas shutdown period for construction, everyone was at home. So yeah, that was hard. That was probably the hardest part. I mean, yes, you got to put the hours in, long days and long nights, as you know, to get the information in there. But obviously there's an end game in sight for that. But for me, the hardest part was the letting of the employees know. Once that was done, it was received quite well. There was a lot of mixed emotions on the other end of all the phone calls. But by and large, it was received very well, and the buyer followed up in the new year with a lot of communication, a communication strategy, which during COVID wasn't easy, and still even now, of course, we still haven't gone back to full normality, so they haven't had a lot of face-to-face contact or reassurance. Although I think everybody's sat more comfortably with the whole scenario now.
Yeah, yeah. Well, certainly we spent a lot of time between September and December building up that goodwill with the buyer and having a lot of correspondence with them, a lot of communication with them. And I think that helped enormously to get them on the on day one, sort of able to run the business as quickly as they could. So
yeah, I think the first round of, I don't know how many rounds we had. I don't think we had too many. The first attempt at getting the information in the data room, there were obviously various sections, the financial section and then the tax section and health and safety and all those other elements. There weren't too many queries came back after the first round, to be honest. So I think that just spoke volumes of the amount of work that went in the very early stage to get it to that point.
Yeah.
So yeah, my advice would be to get the information in the data room as fast as you can. So then and then as much information as you can get in there, and then it'll keep the number of queries down subsequently.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's great, Chris. Well, thank you very much for your time, and best of luck for the future as well.
Cheers, Steve. Thanks again.
Cheers. Thank you.